Welcome back, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started on the Find Adventure page kit for June Club Q. So again, this is a travel one, and we love travel. We do a lot of travel pages because we do tours. Patsy coordinates tours and does a lot of traveling. A lot of the quick quotes customers that have gone have had a blast. So if you would like to travel with us, check out our website at shopquickquotes.com and check out our, I think it's Travel with QQ. There's a category on there for some of the events that we have coming up and the travel dates and stuff like that. There's some fun ones. So check it out. But we will get started on this kit so you have nice pages to put your travel photos into. This one is called Find Adventure, and we suggest Capri Blue, Denim, Mocha, Mahogany, and Amaretto. Any one of those blues or browns that would work with this. It kind of depends on the look that you want. Whether you want a more vintage look, you can use more browns in there. If you like the brighter blues, go ahead and add those. We're going to get started with all the cutting. So there's actually two cutting diagrams. I'm going to get out my trimmer here. On the back, we have our first cutting diagram, and I'm going to put it right up next to here and get the tan map paper. And we will start with the 5.5 by 7.5 here. So put it in, and it really doesn't matter too much the orientation of the paper because you will have a picture over it once it goes onto your page anyway. So totally up to you which way you want to turn it. Put it into 5.5 and trim. Turn it to 7.5 and trim that out. And this will give you some extra pieces. Perfect little photo backers for something else or to add to the page if you want to. So we have a 5.5 by 7.5. Now this piece we will make 4.5 by 6.5. So I'm going to trim it down to 4.5 because both those pieces need to be 4.5. This is just a leftover piece. Make it into tags or use it on another page. And then we need to cut at 6.5. So we have 6.5 and 5.5. Set those aside. Now the next diagram is on a separate sheet of paper here. And we will start by, this one's a little bit trickier because you don't want to cut down the middle. We have different dimensions on here. So what we're going to do is we will cut these first because the little 1/4 inch by 11 inch strips are really hard to cut if you have just a little bit of paper left over. So we are going to actually put this in and cut it at 1/4 inch, and we're going to make, I think 4 1/4 inch strips. 1, move it down, 2, 3, and then the last one, 4. And these just need to be 11 inches, so you want to turn all of these around and just trim at 11. I'm going to just put them all together, trim it one time. Up to you if you want to do it separately. Kind of depends on if your trimmer will handle it or not. Put all these together. Cut 1 inch off the end here. And then you have 1/4 inch strips by 11 inches. And you want 4 of those. Set those aside. Okay, so then we will make the 4x6 and the 4x5. So what we'll do is trim at 4 inches. So you want, this is the side that you actually cut the strips off of. So you want to make sure that we are just sliding it in. We'll go all the way to 4. I know this looks a little different than the diagram, but we're just sliding this all the way into 4. It's the easiest way to do it. And then we'll cut one at 6 inches and one at 5 inches. So we'll turn that 6 and 5. You have this little piece left over. And the big chunk of paper that you have left, we are going to do the 5x7. So what I'm going to do is turn it this way, cut it at 7 inches. So you have the long part going this way, 7 inches, and then turn it and trim at 5. And this is leftover, you can use for tags or something. So you have a 5x7. And then this piece that's left over, we're going to do a 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut it at 3 1/2. I'm sorry. The height is 3 1/2. So we're going to put this in at 3 1/2. The long part is this way. And turn it this way for 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. Okay, and then we are done with the diagrams. The other things that you'll need to cut out are this green. It's like a 3x8, 3 1/4 by 8 maybe. Yeah, 3 1/4 by 8, and we are going to cut that into 2 3 1/4 by 4 inch pieces. So we'll put it in at 4 inches. And you have 2 of those. And your embellishment sheets. The embellishment sheets that we will be using, you can trim these out. I trimmed mine out already. And actually, so you get some extra stuff in there. You can use that wherever you want on your page. But these are the 3 that I used in my sample. These are all extra. That's what I love about this month's kits. You actually get lots of extra pieces, lots of extra words. They're simple to put together, but you get extras to make more. So these are the 3 pieces you need for this kit. You save these for another page. And I think that's all the trimming we are going to do with our trimmer. I'm going to move this out of here and move in my background pages. One thing that I do want to point out, if you are punching out your die cuts, or if you already have, just make sure you're not throwing anything away, because this kit, we really do use the negative pieces. Like, if you've taken our classes before, you know that we try to use every single scrap, and this one, we totally do. You can see we punched 2 things out here, but we are actually using this big square. So don't throw this away. My cat's coming to say hi to everybody. Hi, Kitty. Okay, and this comes out of here, but we will be using this piece, this inner, not the 12-inch piece. So this outside piece, that we will not be using, but this one that fits right around this, where this comes out, that we will be using. So don't throw either of these pieces away. Even this negative right here we will be using, so hang on to that. And we will get our background pages started. The only other thing I want to mention with the die cuts, we have our 1/4 inch strips already pre-cut for you. But what you want to do, instead of peeling them apart, they have pretty big notches right there. Just go ahead and trim them out where there's a notch so that it's nice and smooth. We put bigger notches in these because with these tiny little strips, it makes the die cut really flimsy to be able to package it. This one's a little smaller, so you could probably pull these apart. Put these ends, trim that right on the line. And if it's not perfect, no one will ever know. Mine definitely are not perfect. Okay, so then we have 4 white 1/4 inch strips. And this piece you actually can throw away. We are not using that piece. All right, we're gonna get our background set up. And like I said, we are going to use this negative piece. So that will be one background. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue this on. There is, I think this is probably a 11 by 11. Yeah, that will go on here. We'll add that. And then the other side gets a little trickier. We have a full sheet with the hot air balloon and stuff on it, a full sheet. And then this is where all these pieces come in. So first of all, we are going to use this 11 by 11 square. Then we will add oops, I'm putting it on the wrong side. Then we will add the tan negative right in the middle. And then on top of that, these 2 circles, we are going to put on the right side. I know it looks super messy right now, but we are going to cover this up with pictures. So once you get that lined up, go ahead and glue all that stuff down. Your square should fit right in the middle there. Go ahead and glue that down. This one gets centered so that it has about 1/4 inch of the tan showing. And then we start layering on top of that. So here's your 5 by, and I'm just gonna lay these out. I'm gonna go back through and glue everything down so that I know that I have things in the spot that I want to. And if I wanna move them around at all, once I know which pictures are going on, then I can also do that as well. So the largest tan map paper is going to go here, probably about 1/2 inch. Actually, no, it's more of like 1 inch from the right side of this paper. And then we have, and make sure you chalk these up as you go. You decide what colors are good for you. I really like this blue lotus, and I am going to use a little blue lotus, which is a little bit bright for this kit, but then I'm gonna go over it with a more of a teal color. Tone it, oh, that got messy. Can't go wrong with powder puffs though. You can blend it right back out and add some more. Make it look like I did that on purpose. I also have Baja Blue, which will give it more of a teal color instead of And then I don't have my brown here, but once this dries, if you went over this with just a little bit of maybe mocha or something, it adds a little brown in there also. I don't know what I did with my mocha. But it all depends on the colors you want. If you really like this brighter teal color, you could also go around this in the brighter teal too and make it match a little more as well. Okay, and then you have your two smaller green pieces. And we are going to go ahead and put your blue pieces on there. Chop those up a little bit. I'm going to glue these on, because we know that they're going to go on those photo backers anyway in that photo mat. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this one down here. I love this Barely Art glue because you need very little, and it works so great for small things. I don't have my ATG gun with me, so I'm going to use it for the big things too, but it works great for more detailed. I keep moving this, but if you want to glue this down as you go, you definitely can. Okay, one on each page for these. And then we have two tan matte papers that we are going to fit the blue on the fronts of those as well. Chalk those up a little bit. The brown actually looks really gorgeous if you go over the top just a little bit after using this blue, and then you get two of the colors in there, and it looks kind of vintagey but still has a like brighter color to it. And the thing with this Barely Art glue, you don't need a whole lot on there, but it gives you just a second to kind of move things around if you need to. Okay, so on this page we have the smaller one, goes about 3/4 of an inch from the left. And actually I might be doing the pages. Oh, I am. I'm doing these opposite. Which is fine, because you can always put these back and forth. I was just looking to see if there was any reason that you couldn't do that, but no, you totally can. I'm going to switch them right now just so that I'm doing it like the directions show, but you could put them on either side. Okay, so you have a die cut that is teal little banner pieces. And these are going to go in about 1.5 inches from the left side of this paper. We're going to put one across the bottom, which it goes about 1/2 inch from the bottom. And then we will do the same over here. This is going to go in about 1.5 inches. And I'm not sure what it actually says in the directions. If you need to put it in specifically, it says to put it in, let's see, 2 inches from the right far edge of the paper. So 2 inches from this side. So about 1.5 inches from the wood paper, 2 inches from the far side. And then I'm going to actually just line this one up so that I know it's the same. You can go ahead and glue those down if you want to. Then you have your little 1/4 inch pieces. should probably just move these out of the way until I got these all down. Your blue one goes right next to it, and it should match up flush to the wood piece of paper right underneath this banner. Feel free to glue these down if you are confident in where you want them. I like to lay things out and make sure I have them exactly where I want them. But if you want to go ahead and glue them down, you can. A lot of times I'll just pick up the edges and glue around the edges. I don't use a lot of glue on mine because once they are in a page protector, oops, I didn't trim these down. I need to trim these down to 11. So I'm going to put these white strips back in my trimmer and I'm going to trim them down to 11. I don't know why we didn't just do that on the laser. Sorry about that. Okay. So we have 11 inches here. And run across here. I can hear my kids in there, and I'm sorry if you can hear my kids. I try to do these late at night when everybody's in bed and nobody's around, but I can hear them in there chatting, so I apologize if you can. Hopefully you have kids and you understand, or kids or grandkids. Okay, let's see. So now we have our embellishments that we're going to add here. And this is where the Barely Art glue comes in handy. We need just a little, few dots here and there. And it goes on the green circle. And you can use either side of this. You choose which side you want to use. And one goes down in this corner. And again, chalk these up if you want to add a little color, make them look a little rustic. So my kids are saying hi in there. My cat said hi. Pretty soon my husband will come in and say hi. It's been a busy night around here. Okay. Now I can add this back on. And if you need to move this around to accommodate your pictures, you don't want to cover up any of your picture. You can move things around a little bit if you need to. When you do go to glue these down, you want to make sure that you have your little tabs glued on here. But don't glue any of your photo backers down until you have your photos in there. This might be one that you want to move around a little bit so it doesn't cover up much of this photo. These just add a little extra color, and chalk those up with either your blue or brown, whichever works for you. These are just little tabs to add a little brightness to it. This one goes here. Move them around as needed. I know these videos are pretty simple and just step by step, but I hope they help put them together. They help you put it together just a little bit faster than normal. Sometimes it's difficult for me to sit and read through directions, specific directions, and every line and make sure that things are where they're supposed to be. So I'm hoping these videos help. You know, they're pretty simple kits, but it's just easier to kind of push pause and go whenever you need to and throw a page together quickly without having to read instructions. So I put just a little bit of glue on the back here, and then these fit right in here. Your little brads go in each end. There's a little packet of brads. Where'd mine go? White brads. And you put a brad in each end. You don't have to put it all the way through the paper. You just put it through this piece, and then you glue this piece down. So no need to put it all the way through the paper. Sometimes it's hard to punch through 2 or 3 layers. Just put them in the ends. And you know what? On my sample, I don't even have this piece on my sample. If you want to add it somewhere, you feel free. It actually would be pretty cute right here. These are just extra pieces that we gave you. I didn't accidentally cut that one out, but or make a whole nother page with all your extras. You have a little bit of paper in your paper pack as well. So that's what's great about this month's kit is they're simple to put together, but they will give you lots of extras to work with. After your brads go in, this will go here. You add your photos, glue everything down where you need it. And that is June's Club Q. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being a member, and we will see you next month.